Welcome to your Thrive Era podcast, the show for high achieving women who are done with burnout and ready to reclaim their time, energy, and joy. I'm Shannon Logan, mom, wife, coach, and entrepreneur for over a decade. I know what it's like to juggle it all and still feel like it's never enough, but everything changed once I developed my SET protocol. A simple yet sustainable way to take back myself, my energy, and my time. If you're ready to break free from burnout and finally thrive, you're in the right place. Let's dive in.
What if I told you your body might actually crave the chaos that you say you want to escape? It sounds extreme, but for high achieving women like us, stress can become more than a reaction. It can actually become a reflex. Welcome back to Your Thrive Era, the podcast for ambitious women who are done living in survival mode and ready to lead from calm, not cortisol. I'm Shannon Logan, wife, mom, business coach, and the founder of the Whole Woman Reset, built on 3 pillars: self, energy, and time. Today, we're going to be talking about a quiet crisis that I believe is burning out brilliant women all over the world: stress addiction. Because if rest feels uncomfortable and peace feels foreign or even possibly unsafe, you're actually not alone. The majority of women are walking through this exact same thing, including me. This was my story. And for many of the women I coach, it's the hidden root of their burnout as well. So today, we're going to break it down with compassion, with honesty, but also with real tools to help you finally break free. So first things first, let's define it clearly. Being addicted to stress doesn't mean you enjoy it. It simply means your nervous system has adapted to living in a heightened, always on, always ready state. You've heard of fight or flight, but many of us live in kind of a third state. It's something I like to call fully functioning through the fog. You're productive, you're present, you're leading teams and households, but inside you just kind of feel wired, anxious, and you can't really tap into the joy because you're just waiting for the next shoe to drop. And when life finally slows down, you go on vacation with your family or you get a day off, you feel restless. You just can't sit still. Something's off. And here's how you know that stress is actually running the show in that case. Because feeling calm makes you feel suspicious, like, oh man, what's wrong? What's coming? You can't sit still without reaching for your phone or a to-do list item. You create urgency where there is none. So it's like, oh, I have to make sure to empty the dishwasher. Why do you have to make sure to do that right now? You feel a sense of rush when you have a problem to solve or crisis to solve. You're saving the day, like, oh, here, I know how to do this well. You're worn out and exhausted at the end of the day, but also have this weird wired sense, hence why you can't sleep. If any of these hit too close to home, stay with me, because awareness is the first step to breaking free of it and letting it go for good. See, I'll never forget the moment it actually clicked for me. I cleared my Friday afternoon. No calls, no meetings, just self-care time. I was going to take this time. I was going to slow down before I had to pick up my daughter on Friday afternoons and just take space for me. And I had like a whole 2.5 hour block of free time. And 30 minutes in, I was like pacing. I was like, do, 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 do. I was like, I should check my email. I wonder if that response came through, or I wonder if the Instagram post got likes, or you know what, my daughter's closet really needs to be organized. I just sat there rewriting to-do list and planning my week coming up. I felt itchy, not physically, but like mentally, as if I needed a problem to solve, or it just didn't feel normal to sit. And see, that was the moment I realized I didn't know who I was or how to just be without stress, that it had become part of my existence, just like breathing. And that scared me because it meant that it was just an underlying tone that I was walking around with all the time that I hadn't been aware of. But it showed me the truth too, because it showed me I didn't need more time. I needed to teach my body, teach my mind, teach my nervous system to believe that it was safe to rest, that it was okay to have peace. It was fine to sit on the couch and not do anything. Imagine that. So if you're an entrepreneur or you're a CEO who's also a mom, this hits hard because we've been trained to equate Stress with success. You most likely have built a business through grit. You've held your family together through chaos. And we tend to have been praised for being the one that can do it all, right? We get that positive feedback. Oh my gosh, how did you handle that? Oh my gosh, you're impressive. Oh my gosh, I could never do that. So our brain learns that stress equals results. Stress equals approval. Stress equals safety. And over time, that addiction becomes masqueraded as ambition. I'm going to say that again because I think it's important. Over time, that addiction masquerades as ambition. And again, that cycle just keeps going because we think we're doing what we should. We think we're just being ambitious, but we've caught an addiction that we're the last ones to really tune into. So you can't lead from a place where your nerves are just hijacked. You can't lead from a place where you're in a constant crisis mode. The best leadership comes, whether it's as a parent or at work, it comes when you're in a place of calm, centered energy, thinking logically, thinking of a place of abundance and not scarcity. And it's really hard to have stress and abundance coincide, just saying. That's why it isn't a nice to have. That's why breaking a stress addiction should be a non-negotiable if we really want to thrive. Because again, the two can't coexist. I'm not going to ask you to all of a sudden never feel stress again or quit cold turkey or something like that. But I am going to help you retrain your system so they can start believing in calm, not just safe. But I am going to help you retrain your system so that it can believe that calm isn't just safe, but it's powerful and it's something you can fully walk into. So stress likes to thrive in loops. Our goal is to break the loop. When you start feeling yourself spinning out, you need to stop. You need to stand up and physically actually shake your body out. Okay. My girl Taylor, right? Shake it out, shake it out. But there's actually a physiological reaction that happens when we stand up and we move our body and shake. I think it's zebras do this in nature where they can have insanely stressful response or they can have insanely stressful experiences like being chased by a lion. And when that's done, you'll see them kind of stand straight up and just shake their whole body out. And what they're actually doing is shaking off that adrenaline from that stressful event so they can reset and get back into a centered, equilibrium, calm, level place. So if it works for a zebra, it'll work for you. Just find 30 seconds of movement. You can go outside and do quick walk. You can do burpees. You can do air squats. You can go upstairs. You can go downstairs. Just find something to get a little bit of movement to help physically shake out that stress. And your brain will take that as a tool to know that, oh, we're safe now, right? And it'll reframe it as being peaceful does not have to be a passive experience, but it can also be a powerful experience. So that's tool one I want you to try out. The second tool is what I call a 3-minute switch. So you're going to set a timer for 3 minutes and you're simply going to ask, what am I feeling right now? Is one of my colleagues, Gavin McHale. He's an awesome mindset coach. You guys should go check him out. He calls this the vibe check. How am I feeling right now? What do I need? And what would just 1% more peaceful look like right now? Again, we don't have to go for black and white. We don't have to overhaul the whole system. But what would 1% more peaceful look like? I bet you could do that 1%. And here you're teaching your body to check in with itself, that you value it instead of checking out and rushing to the next thing. So again, peace isn't passive, it's powerful. It's going to be my theme today. And then the last tool is once a week, you're going to block out 15 minutes for white space. No tasks, no scrolling, no to-dos, just exist. It's not going to be wasted time. It's going to be nervous system rehab. Because again, thanks to the cell phone, thanks to Apple Watches, we are just constantly triggered by notifications and influx of data all the time. And it sends our nervous system on overdrive and puts us into a stress response. It's actually playing on our biology And we can't help but fall into it because, again, it's the way we're wired. But if you can start to work up, now you may not start at 15 minutes, it might feel like it's too much, but just start with a block of time. Start with 90 seconds if you have to, where you're just not doing anything. You can let your mind wander if you want, but you're not scrolling, you're not texting, you're not emailing, you're not on Netflix, you're not jumping to the next screen, you're just existing. I like to go outside and just put my feet in the grass and sit in a chair and kind of just listen to the birds. And that helps me shift back into my body physically and out of a state of stress. So say it with me, peace is not passive, it's powerful. Okay. So as we wrap up today, I want you to remember that you're allowed to rest. You're allowed to feel calm. You're allowed to build a wildly successful life that doesn't have to cost you your soul as well. So here's your move for this week. Pick just one of the three tools. Don't overthink it. Just do one and just do it. Interrupt the stress loop. Breathe into the pause. Take time to just check in with yourself. Prove to your body that peace is actually safe. And if you're ready to go deeper, download my guide, The Stress Switch Cheat Sheet. It's $7, but it's going to walk you through how to implement this in the day-to-day basis to remind you to consistently get out of fight or flight and into rest and digest. So you can be that leader, that mom, that wife, that woman that you know you're craving. All right, guys, I'm Shannon Logan. And remember, your peace, it isn't a luxury. It's your leadership strategy. Until next week.
That's it for today's episode. If this hit home for you, don't just let it be another thing you hear. Take action. And the best way to start? Download my free masterclass, The High Achieving Woman's Escape Plan. 3 steps to reclaim your time, energy, and self. In this exclusive session, I'll show you exactly how to save over 5 hours a week, stop burnout in its tracks, and live in alignment with the real you. Click the link in the show notes and grab it now. And if you love this episode, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with a friend who needs to hear this. Until next time, keep thriving.